Hi, and welcome to this episode of Easy Backyard Cooking. In this episode, we are going to do a ridiculously easy smoke on my Pit Boss pellet grill, and we're going to be cooking a small pork loin. These are the pork loins you get in your butcher's meat case. They're about a pound. It says that it'll serve about 4 to 6 people, and it calls for an oven recipe that is about an hour in a 350 degree oven. Well, we're going to do that a little different in our pellet smoker, but once we get it in, there's not much else we're going to need to do. So stick around. One of the things that makes this pork loin so easy to cook is that there's just almost nothing you have to do. You can find them in the grocer's meat counter. Sometimes they have various marinades. This one had kind of a herb and lemon marinade that was used, so I'm going to be using a little bit of lemon pepper as the rub on this particular thing. Now, it's kind of interesting because a pork loin and a pork tenderloin are not the same cut of meat, but with these packaging, they sometimes make it kind of hard to figure out. For example, the label on this called it a tender pork loin, as opposed to a pork tenderloin. Some of the others in the case were called pork tenderloin. So I'm not sure what I have, but the difference in the cooking doesn't matter. So we're just going to go ahead. As you can see, I've got my smoker in the smoke setting, and the plan is to go for about 15 minutes on that low setting, and then bump the temperature up to about 250 or so, and then we're just going to wait for it to achieve an internal temperature of 145 degrees. Now, when I was inside preparing this, I did take the silver skin and fat cap off this. Silver skin doesn't render, and it can be kind of chewy and not particularly tasty, so I've taken that off the loin. And I then am going to go with just shaking on a little bit of lemon pepper. You know, when this is done, we can carve them up into little medallions that are just yummy. And so for a fun afternoon short cook for an evening dinner, this is a Saturday, so it's a weekend kind of activity. It works just really well. Now, I have a new thermometer. This is the TempSpike, and I've only used it one other time. So part of what we're going to be doing today is experimenting with this rascal. It has a wireless connection from the thermometer to the sender unit, and then the sender unit boosts the signal and connects to the Bluetooth connection on your phone. They claim up to 500 feet worth of range, and when I do a review after I've got a little experience with it, we'll give that a test. In the meantime, we're going to put this into the center of our pork. There's a little line on the probe that you're supposed to get through the meat. And then at this end, there's another temperature sensor that's going to allow you to get the ambient air temperature out of the smoker chamber itself. So at this point, all we have to do is put it in the smoker. 15 minutes on the smoke setting on this Pit Boss Pro Series 850. And then after that, we're going to bump it up to 250. And just wait. Nothing could be easier. I'm going to put the TempSpike here on this end since the controller's temperature gauge is on this end, so it'll give me an idea of where we are across the range of the smoker. So there we are. Cross-check my watch. We'll be back in 15 minutes to turn up the temp. Okay, so I've had the thing on now for, just a little under an hour. The alarm went off and said that it was at 145 degrees, so we're going to open up and double check with our instant read thermometer. I've got a little Thermopro here. $145, $145, a little bit more than 145. So that's good. I think we're good to take this baby off. I did not put any sauce on this on purpose. You could certainly add your favorite barbecue sauce on this, but my wife's not a big fan of that, so we're going to allow the saucing to happen at the dinner table if anybody wants to. And we're going to get this probe out of here. That was a little on the warm side. And the next thing we're going to do is let this sit for about 3 or 4 minutes under this aluminum foil to rest a little bit. Okay, so we've had this under the aluminum now for 3 or 4 minutes. It is time to see what we've got going on here. Now, just as a review, we started with the loin pretty naked. We put a little bit of lemon pepper on it to match the lemon and herb marinade that was used in its packaging, and then we just put it on the grill. We spent about 15 minutes in the smoke setting of my Pit Boss here, and then we moved it up to 260 degrees and monitored the cook. We put it on at 450 and the alarms for the cook went off at 550. So it was right at 1 hour with those temperature settings. So now it's time to take a look at what this meat looks like. So we know the temperature's good. We got our knife out. Let's get a good cut. Oh, it's nice and tender. And that's what we've got. You can see we've got a little smoke penetration around there. That is really cool. A little bit of pinkness there on the outside, which is the smoke. Oh man, that just cuts like butter. That is really good. That is really good. For sides tonight, we can take this a lot of different ways. You know, scalloped potatoes or gratin potatoes, something fancier. But we're on a summer afternoon, so we're going to go with some Bush's beans and some green salad. So it's time to take this inside and enjoy dinner. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, go out there and do some easy backyard cooking.